Hey, welcome back, Poor Boys. Today on the Poor Boys RC show, we've got the Kyosho Dirt Cross, 4-wheel drive, kit buggy, laser SB. We're going to get this thing unboxed and see what it's all about.
Excellent!
That's right, guys. The Kyosho Dirt Cross is a 4-wheel drive buggy. It's just starting to hit shelves now, so you can grab these as we're talking. I will have some affiliate links down below so you guys can click those to get your hands on one of these as well. This is a 4-wheel drive bigger brother to the Kyosho Dirt Master, which came out about a year ago, and I'd say was very, very popular. These are relatively inexpensive kits for what they are, and in these kits, they're going to use more plastic parts, more sort of cost-effective components to help keep the price point low, but that does not mean you're not going to have a good performing kit right out of the box. In fact, I love kits like this. I love the lower price point, kind of bang for the buck, high performer, and that's what I'm thinking this buggy is going to be. I didn't grab the 2-wheel drive because I had a really strong feeling that they're going to come out with a 4-wheel drive, and thank God they did because I just can't get enough of how this thing looks. So let's talk about it a little bit and then get into this box and see what we've got in there. The simple chassis of the Dirt Cross delivers its high performance on all fields of action, from flat dirt to off-road racing circuits. The shaft drive 4-wheel drive at its core is based on the Laser ZX5, which competes at the highest levels around the world, including the World Championships. The kit comes with full ball bearings, H-pattern pin tires. We've got a driver figure in there that you could even use in the 2-wheel drive Dirt Master if you wanted to. The kit comes with a slipper clutch, adjustable turnbuckles for your camber and your toe in, toe out, but you will need to supply your own 2 or 3 channel transmitter and receiver, servo, ESC, motor, paint, shock oil, all that good stuff. Front and rear gearboxes are equipped with gear differentials, ensuring reliable operation and stability over long periods. They can be upgraded with an optional ball diff. Race-proven double wishbone front and rear suspension, oil-filled shocks, height adjustable, spoke wheels that recreate that racing buggy style with a retro look to match the body, and is compatible with various optional parts and shock springs from the Laser series. So enough about the technical stuff, let's get inside and see what's in this box. Smells like Kyosho. All right, guys, let's start right at the top. And as you can see, not a lot of really fancy schmancy packaging in this box whatsoever. Again, this is more of kind of that budget-friendly assembly kit with some race spec DNA. Starting off, our instruction manual. The instructions look really easy to read, step by step, very similar to a Tamiya style of build manual, which, as you all know, I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 more times, the best in the business. We've got some decals here. We've got the Dirt Cross there, probably some window masks here, some decals for our driver figure, and the main set of decals. So if you look at this decal sheet, guys, there's really not that much to it. Pretty straightforward. And since we're talking about decals, let's talk about the body and the driver figure and all that stuff. This is a cover for your pinion gear and your spur gear. Here on this chassis, we've got a Lexan cover to keep debris out of your gears. Next in the bag of tricks, we've got our driver figure, and then we've got our spoiler, which is also going to need to be cut and trimmed. The body itself, guys, I'm loving this. I love this style. I love the fact that the cockpit has been moved back. And on the box itself, it even says that they moved the cab back for more of a nostalgic feel for experienced racers and a new feel for new racers. And I guess that's funny, isn't it, guys? If you've been around long enough, you know, we started off in the 80s and 90s with all the cab store buggies back here, then they all moved forward for all the race buggies, and now they're moving back again. We've got some protective film, overspray film on the outside, and just a good looking basic body. And one thing I like about some of these sharp angles that are on this body, kind of lends itself to that 80s kind of feel, that boxy feel, which is giving me some paint inspiration ideas. Moving on, some of these part bags are really, really full. This is the fullest of them all. So first things first, I see a nice aluminum lightweight prop shaft. That's gonna get the power from the rear wheels to the front wheels. We've got this parts tree here with some differential covers, some hinge pin tie downs right here, and a couple other little bits and bobs. This looks like an upper chassis stiffener piece made with a reasonably rigid plastic, not too flexible, which is good. You're gonna want that on a part like that. Tiny little bumpers, little bumper here, front and rear, kind of a wing mount right there with the body post. Some more differential covers, front and back, and some more hinge pin tie downs. So we've got a shock tower here, more hinge pin blocks. So I bet they've got so many in there because they come with different toe-in configurations, I'm just assuming. To hold down your battery, it comes with a Velcro strap, another shock tower. We've got those little spacer doodads that go in the eyelets of your shocks, upper and lower. And we are seeing some ball bearings, which is really nice. Here we've got a nice bulky aluminum motor mount. So your motor's gonna come right in here. You've got some adjustment there for different size pinion gears, which is groovy. What else we got going on here, guys? I want to get this one open because although these shocks are plastic, they are still oil filled and they look like a nice big bore shock. So there's our front and rear shocks, which you can obviously see are different lengths, but they do have a nice big bore to them, which is fantastic. Nice big springs too. And just a couple parts trees here for our shocks, guys. And it looks like the pistons come with a 5-hole piston, and that's about it. I don't see any other pistons in this bag, so it looks like you're not gonna have a ton of adjustment in your shocks via pistons. You're gonna have to use oil to adjust your rebound. We've got a couple of A-arms here, guys, and it looks like on these ones you've got a little nub on there, so I'm gonna say at some point you can probably add an anti-sway bar kit to these. There's our front steering uprights, 12 mil hexes, more hardware, more outdrives, more bearings, and more hardware. Next on the list here, guys, it looks like we've just got our adjustable turnbuckles. So we've got a whole bunch of these turnbuckle ends, and as we can see here, these are going to be adjustable, which is a nice thing to have. Steering servo saver, some supports, and then there's a little bit more hardware along with the steering servo saver spring and servo saver mechanism. So it does come with a steering servo saver, and it looks like it's that double bell crank, dual bell crank style of steering, which is awesome. Next we have here, guys, looks like our differential bag. I'm not going to open this up because I'm going to end up losing everything and getting stuff all over. My cats are going to get into it. Looking through this bag, looks like we do have some lube that comes with it, which is nice. Lube. And we've got metal differentials, metal gears in the differentials with a plastic diff casing. Next bag, we've got our slipper clutch assembly. We've got the obligatory T-wrench. Just nice quality. Kyosho, right? Always good quality. Everything just looks really nice, even in the package. Next bag here, guys, we've got our dog bones, we've got a pinion gear, we've got some 2A tape, some body pins. Yeah, 24 tooth pinions. So if you guys are looking to increase or decrease your pinion count, you know it starts at 24. Almost done, guys. We've got a chassis here, and this looks like almost like a fiber reinforced plastic type of a chassis to me, guys. It's the way that looks there underneath, hey? Looks like an FRP, but countersunk screws, which is nice. Really basic flat pan chassis. Next, we've got some wheels, and I like the look of these wheels. They've kind of got that old school kind of wagon wheel look, like you'd find like on an old Toyota pickup truck or something like that. We've got some tire foams as well that came with the kit. Pretty awesome that they came with foams as well. You don't see that too often. Last but not least, guys, I'm going to save the tire sniff for last. We haven't sniffed some Kyosho tires in a little while. Let's see what they're all about. Oh. Ooh. You know, it smells like a real tire. That may sound stupid, but you know, like when you walk into a tire store, like Canadian Tire, for all you Canadians out there, almost that nice smell of rubber. Kind of smells like that. It actually smells pretty good. Reminds me of being a kid and going there with my dad. Special memory blend. There we go. Special memory blend from Kyosho on this one. Well, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching.
3 days later.
Ta-da! Check out how awesome this dirt cross looks, guys. I love it. I definitely sought some inspiration from my Tamiya BBX build from about this time last year. You know, as soon as I saw this thing with these angled lines and these kind of wagon wheels, I thought, you know, just this kind of Mojave deck tan color would definitely work really well with the white and the black. Man, I can't get over it. I'm really, really digging it. Check it out, guys. I'll shut up for a second. Dirt Cross was, like I said, it took a lot longer to build than I would have normally expected. A 4-wheel drive buggy, 10 scale like this, normally I'd pound it out in about 4 or 5 hours. But there's a lot of like trimming of pieces you have to do. A lot of the parts trees that they have like a lot of, you know, when you see guys 3D printing and there's like those little support braces they have, there were a ton of those involved, which was just kind of frustrating. And at the end of it all, I've got kind of I don't know if you guys can hear that clicking or not, but there's something clicking in the drivetrain. I took a look at it. I don't see anything obviously clicking. I was just really excited about how this looked and wanted to make a video for you guys. So step 19 was one that kind of got me a little bit confused. Right here you can see where they're telling you to put this ball stud, and that ball stud's for your camber adjustment turnbuckle. And here clearly they tell you to put the ball stud at the very back. And now that mine is built, and I've got my ball stud at the front now, because later on in the manual, I'll show you, they tell you to have it at the front. So the illustrations in the manual are incorrect. You'll see here your ball studs are at the front. So when I got toward the end of the build, I thought, oh man, I put mine in the wrong spot, so I moved them to the front. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I had to take the front shock tower off to do that. You can definitely see how my camber turnbuckles are hitting my front shocks. So I'm gonna have to move these back a little bit. So when you're putting yours together, guys, make sure your front ball studs are in that rearmost location as per step 19. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the steering. The amount of throw in the steering bell crank is it's great, but you don't need it all. So my servo, which is just kind of your Amazon 25 kg special, everyone's running these days. I turned my endpoints down to 70%, and check this out. I think I'm still right there, I'm about maxed, and I still have, look at all that throw. So I'm really hauling on the servo saver here. Look how quickly I max out my steering. It's like you only need like 15, maybe 20 degrees of throw on your steering servo to achieve full lock either way. Look at that. That's at 70%. I bet you I could turn my steering endpoint adjustment down to 50, both sides, which is really, really crazy. So it's not really a complaint. I don't see that as a bad thing in any way, but it's something to be aware of. If you have a servo with 180 degree throw, last thing you want to do is hook everything up, start turning, maybe break something. So just be aware of that when you're putting yours together as well. The other thing about the steering servo and the steering servo saver is that I did have to get the Dremel out a little bit. So yeah, if you're looking right there, see how that's touching? It just grazes now because I took my Dremel out and I just shaved down a little bit of the end of that steering mechanism, and I shaved down a little bit of the end of my servo case to just clear it. So it just clears. That was something I thought was kind of unusual. If anything, really maybe a bit of a design flaw. So that's it for the negatives on this chassis and as far as the build process went. Now let's talk about some of the positives. First of all, the chassis layout's fantastic. Everything's really easy to access. It's got an integrated slipper clutch. The slipper clutch is a little bit tough to get access to, so make sure you set your slipper before you get everything in. The big bore shocks are silky smooth. Really nice. My only complaint about that is that they only give you one set of pistons, and they're 5-hole pistons. I use Tamiya's, kind of that standard Tamiya light oil, the gold colored Tamiya oil. And if I give this a little drop, sorry about the shaking camera, really gotta fix that. It's really nice, but I would like some firmer dampening in the back because we do have more weight back there, obviously, with the motor, and it's just coming down a little too quick for my liking. But for a bash on the beach, it's gonna be fine. What else can I tell you guys? Adjustable turnbuckles everywhere for both your camber and for your steering, which is awesome. We've got dog bones at all 4 corners, no CVA, CVD kind of action going on. All plastic parts, okay, other than the motor mount. So your uprights, your rear knuckles, hubs, all that are all plastic. Shock towers are made of plastic. Feels like a strong plastic though, like a nice FRP. And this thing looks like it can take some good upgrades. It's got the balls right here for your front and rear suspension. So if you wanted to add anti-sway bars, you could do that. The battery mount is awesome. It's big enough, but small enough, if you know what I'm saying. Just the one Velcro strap here, guys. And you can put any type of a shaped battery pack in there that you want. This is a pretty good size pack, 4500 milliamp 2S hard case, and that drops in there beautifully. So you're gonna fit a 2 or 3S LiPo in there all day long, which is awesome. And going back to the driver, guys, I'm so happy they included that. And again, with the driver sitting back, it's going back to that old school look, which all of you old guys like myself probably have a bit of a love for. And I love what they've done with the body posts. Check this out. There's one on every corner. There, and there, back there, and up there. They're in such a nice, subtle spot. You don't see them sticking out on top of the body, which I really like. Seems like more and more manufacturers are going to clipless bodies and things like that. And on a budget-friendly, kind of a basher-esque, race-esque vehicle, I consider that a really nice upgrade, to be totally fair. But the kit came with silver body pins. Maybe I'm just being pedantic at this point. I replaced them with black because I think the black just looks a lot cleaner. Kind of mutes it up here in the wing, and down here it's going to work well with the body colors and everything else. Silver just really stood out and kind of looked like it was put there accidentally. Just my 2 cents. I like the tread design of these tires, guys. Again, they're really nice and soft. We've got some good toe in the rear. I towed out my front just a wee bit. I haven't done all my suspension adjustments yet, but For what it is, guys, I am thrilled. I think this thing looks fantastic. I bet it's going to perform great, and that's what I'm going to go do right now is get it out on the beach and get it performing. If you guys have any questions about the Kyosho Dirt Cross, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Also, leave a thumbs up, like the show, subscribe if you haven't already. That means so much to this YouTube channel. And if you want to get one of these, check all the links I've got down below for you guys. By clicking on one of those links, it does not cost you an extra cent, helps fund the channel a little bit, and keeps the good RC vibes flowing. Thank you guys all so much for watching Poor Boys RC, and until next time, be excellent to each other.